Welcome to PLC 2. This is Rob Robinson, and today this video is about using RSLinx to determine the IP address of your compact logic systems. So there's an easy way to do it. You need the USB cable to plug into the compact logics, and you'll need RSLinx. So first thing I'm going to do is click on RSLinx Classic, open it up. Okay, so we've seen this before. I've got some drivers already made, so I'm going to plug in the USB cable. You might have it already plugged in, but if not, you should see USB. I've got it plugged into the compact logics that I have, so I'm going to expand. And at different times, I've had 3 different PLCs hooked up, 14, 15, 16. The X means it can't see it, it's not connected to it. At one time it was, and that no longer. But it is connected to this. This lets you know that you've got a good connection. So I've got a good connection here. There's a couple of easy things to do. So if you just need the Ethernet address, you can just expand down, and you can get it right here. So then you'd write that down. 1042.11.246. This is the network that you're going to have to be connected to. So maybe when you're in your Ethernet drivers, maybe these get blocked out because it can't see it, as the case there. So it's saying I can't communicate to that driver through the Ethernet, or how about Ethernet IP? So give it a minute here, and it says right now, I cannot, this RSLinx says we can't communicate with this. However, it does give us something over here. I'm using laptop, and on the bottom it says PLC 009. An interesting thing here, it tells me what the address of my laptop is. So this laptop, if you remember networking from week 2, I got a 169.254.67.14 address. These are all on the 1042.11 network. So connecting directly with a Ethernet cable to the compact logics, I cannot communicate. So before we go further with that, we want to find out one other thing while we're in this, connected to USB. So you physically got your laptop hard connected to the USB port, not going through network. Right click and go to module configuration. All right. This is an important thing to always check when you go onto a PLC. With you're going to use Studio 5000, you got to have the right software version or revision, and that's this right here. Right here, this 3201. So make sure you make note of that. Now you can also get the port configuration here, and you can see that it is manually configure IP address 1042.11.246. We can, if you come up to a PLC and you need to assign that IP address, you've done this already in class, this is where you could go do that. Connect with the USB, come into this, go to port configuration, and now give it a new address. Okay? So, all right, now how can I connect to this Ethernet-wise? I want to connect to it using my Ethernet cable because I'm on a network, and all my PLCs are in the 1042.11 network. Okay, so I'm going to minimize this. This is not a hard thing to do. So down here at the bottom, you can go to type in or hit the icon that says settings, system settings, open up system settings, network and internet, change adapter options. Okay, click it. All right, it shows us, and we're on an unidentified network. We are connected to Laker Wi-Fi. But since I'm wanting to use a physical Ethernet cable, double click Ethernet. This box pops up. You're going to hit properties. You're going to scroll right here, highlight. You can hit properties, or you can double click. All right, so right now this is my laptop. It is obtaining an IP address automatically from the server. So apparently the default address was that 169. If I come back up here to RSLinx, My address is 169.254. You can use, if you needed to, you can go and do an IP config in the command prompt. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and change my IP address to use the following. So the one that is look at the network you're on, find an address that's not being used. So I'm going to use 10.42.11. I got to have the same, I'm using the same addresses there that the DLC is on, and I'm just going to give it a 123. If 123 is used, find some, when you go back to RSLinx, especially the Ethernet IP address, tells you everything that's on the network. One time, you see this, it's got 123. I had already set my thing, and it'll show up here in a minute. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to click in subset. I'm just going to leave that the way it is. Okay, press OK. OK. Close. I'll just minimize this, and I can close out of that. And now I can go back in. And I've got this on auto browse. If auto browse is not, you can either click auto browse or you can click refresh. So it'll refresh the networks. Okay. So now I am on Ethernet. I've clicked it. I've opened this one up. One I'm currently selected. Now you see the old IP address of my laptop is X'd out, and the new one is there. I go here, click on it. It refreshes it. You see the little communication dots. It's refreshing. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. So now, let's just go see if I'm going to open up RSLinx 500. We'll see if we can communicate with the MicroLogix. So for this one will be for the MicroLogix Studio 5000 for the compact Logix. So I can do a couple things. I can upload, or I can hit who active, go online. Okay, so it's showing who's active. In this case, I know I've got to go to this one, and I can hit OK. And it's going to ask me, no, it didn't find a file on my laptop. Maybe your laptop, once you connect, it should find the file. It says processor name currently in there is back 215. So I'm going to have to just create a new file. It's going to create a new file on my laptop. And it automatically brings it up. Puts me in remote run. We can see that it is connected and we are live. So that address was 1042. We can find that again. Comms, who active. So the MicroLogix address is 1042.11.247. We can see that once we got in on our network, we see the little MicroLogix controller right there. So you can get that address there, but you can just do that who active go online, and that will get you into there. So we see it, we see a file, we got a program, everything's up and going good. So there we go. We're connected with RSLinx 500 to the MicroLogix. Now let's go look at the compact Logix, see if we can connect to it. So we're going to open the Studio 5000. Depending on which way you have, if you've already got a project already on there, I'm just going to go ahead and just go from new project to kind of walk you back through Studio 5000. Got to know your controller type. It is a 5370 type. It is this L1769 L18 ERM BB1B. And you got to give it a name. So when you're going to do your new project, you give it a name. So if you try to put a dash, it's going to put an underscore. So just going to give it that. I'm going to hit next. All right, so this is where revision. Now we talked, it had 32. This is wanting you to be on the top revision. So click this box if you don't see your revision, and hopefully maybe you do. So we had 32. I'm going to have 32. Looking at that, I know there's 4 expansion modules, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And I'm going to hit finish. And wait for Studio 5000 to come up. does take a little bit of time. It's a fairly intensive program. We'll bring it up and we'll see if we can communicate directly now with it using the Ethernet cable. And I should, so I'm still connected, so let's go back. I'm going to go back to RSLinx. All right, I'm going to unplug the USB cable just to eliminate that. Okay, come back down, there we go. It's starting to come up. So we're going to say, let's select communication software. Okay, it's not going to let me do that. Let me see if I can go upload the file. Communication path needed. Who active. So this is wanting to use factory talk. So it comes up with that. I was hoping to be able to change it to RSLinx, but it's coming up as factory talk. So we'll go through. And since I don't have factory talk open, so it's not letting me take. All right, let's see this file. All right, file close. Close the project. Now let's see if I can do communication software. There it is. So if you got something up, we need to close that. Go to RSLinx, hit OK. Now I can go back up to communications, who active. Now it's in RSLinx. I've got my drivers set for there. And I should be able to go and highlight that one, the L18. And I can hit, so you can do update firmware here. We're going to do it a different way. So we're going to go just upload the program, see what's in there. And so wait for it to come up. So right now it's saying remote run, connected. So the controller name in this case is JB Real. We're going to just go ahead and hit select file. It already put the file name in there, so that's good. Select. So if you were going out and you needed that program on your laptop, this is the process you'll be using. It'll ask you to create and upload. So we're going to create and upload. So the next time I come along, I could probably pick this file and it should go online already. All right, you can say it's, here it comes. So now I've got the local organizer. I wanted window. I can do reset window layout. All right, reset the window layout. That's what I like. I like having the controller organizer. So we have everything. So sometimes if it don't come up how you do it, just go to window, reset window layout. You can modify a lot of this to get you what you want. But now you can see that we are in remote run. There's a couple tasks. We'll get into that when you get to here. Main program, double click main routine. And you can see I have a counter counting up because I have a flasher going. So we are connected. You do that. So one of the things again is if you come up and you go to communications, look up, select communication software, and you get this error. It says the project file is open, close the project file. So that's where you go here and you hit close. Okay, so when you're done, you know, you made some edits, there's the save. But the main thing I wanted to say is how to get connected and find out an IP address and then get your computer set up for the same network. So that is what we're covering today, and hopefully you learned something here.